Sometimes you just gotta go Bardown.
Kirill, top titty 2x4 to end the game. That was nice.
Bardown Beauties.
That's the sexy part of the game, is it not? The plays and the goals and the...
Yeah, that's what you guys like. I mean, it is great.
And now, a new episode of Bardown Beauties with Jessi Pierce and Kirsten Krull.
At Jim Beam, they know the importance of tradition, like chanting, "Let's play hockey" prior to the start of each game, or playing the State of Hockey anthem after a Wild win. This season, raise one to your fan family with a bourbon that invites us all to come as friends and leave as family. Jim Beam Bourbon Whiskey, the official bourbon whiskey partner of the Minnesota Wild and XL Energy Center. Drink smart. Jim Beam Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. 40% alcohol by volume. Copyright 2021. James B. Beam Distilling Company, Incorporated, Fairmont, Kentucky.
Hello, everybody. What's up? Bardown Beauties, episode 268. I'm Jessi Pierce, writer for NHL.com. She's Kirsten Krull, your in-arena host. Kirsten, happy Monday yet again. Recording on a Monday, as we do, to release for your listening pleasure on Tuesday. What's up?
We're here. I got sick, guys, so be fragile, or not be fragile. I am fragile. Be gentle with me. Handle with care. I'm happy that I got sick now instead of like a week from now when we really get into the thick of hockey, because that's when all the games really like start. Yeah, I thought you were being legit. I didn't know you were trying to be funny. No. But I'm happy I got sick now instead of later, because now I have like a week in between our next game to try to get a voice back. Really
good. It's important for your job, I think.
I mean, it pays the bills. Like, my voice keeps a roof over my head.
Yeah, like literally, you have to use your voice during.
I
know,
so. And it's something. But you know, we're here. We're chipper.
Chipper.
I'm chippy and chipper.
You know, me too. I'm loving a 2:30 start time. Get out when the sun was almost still up. I just missed it. The sun had just gone down, but man, I can't complain about that.
Hey, daylight savings next week, baby. You're going to get an hour of sunlight when you leave the rink
really
next
dark
week.
In the morning when I go to the gym, if it's open.
It was dark this morning when you went to the gym, so like, what's the difference?
This is also true, though. This is also true. It's fine. We're thriving. We're surviving. It's state tournament time. Your Minnesota Wild are hitting the road for a couple because the high school students and high school hockey fans are invading St. Paul and XL Energy Center. We'll get into that in the second half after the break. First, Kirsten, let's talk a little bit about the Minnesota Wild trade deadline. Fast approaching. Minnesota Wild acquiring Gustav Nyquist from the Nashville Predators in exchange for a second-round pick on Saturday. Nyquist with just one shot in his debut with the Wild. I really liked him the first go-around that Minnesota had him, Kirsten, which was 2 years ago now. 3 games, but you could see the playmaker that he was. Hasn't been off to a great start, but that's because the Preds are awful, like god-awful. This year he's only got 9 goals and 21 points and is a dismal -20 through 57 games. But the year prior in Nashville, which was 1 year removed from his time here with the Wild, he had 23 goals and 75 points through 81 games played. So I like it. He's got the familiarity. I think it was a good move. It's a dollar in, dollar out Nashville, retaining 50% of his salary cap. So Minnesota only taking on about 1.8, which is literally all they have at this point.
Yeah, I'm happy. I was excited when I saw the news the other day that Gustav Nyquist was coming back to Minnesota. When we did have him on the roster a couple of years ago, he was the one player. I was like, oh, I wish we could hold on to him. Like, I want to see him stay here in Minnesota, but quite simply could not afford. So I'm excited to see what he can do for this Wild team throughout the rest of this season. And also, even more importantly, we add yet another Swede to the Wild roster.
How sweet it is.
Just another. Minnesota.
Yeah. I could go on all day. I mean, the one knock on him is he's 35, right? But
yeah, he
doesn't move. I get it. It's an old team in general. But the positive side is not only his playmaking, abilities, but his ability to be on special teams in the power play. Minnesota right now, penalty kill is 30th in the league. It is
We need help.
an abomination. They are operating at a 70.5 clip. So literally anything could help them at this point. But I think Nyquist is going to slot into special teams and assist there. And again, you need somebody that could possibly help with secondary scoring, if not secondary playmaking. I feel like his game is similar to Marco Rossi, where I don't know if he necessarily has the shoot first mentality, which I'd like to see, especially with Kirill and Eriksson continuing to be out. But yeah, I think I don't hate it. I didn't hate it when it was announced on Saturday. I don't hate the age. I see plus side, plus I don't hate them taking on that small little salary. I could even imagine, would you see, Kirsten, would you want Billy to explore keeping him as more than a rental potentially after this season, depending on how he performs?
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking back to the Gustav Nyquist we had a couple years ago, absolutely. Right now, way too small of a sample size to have a definitive answer. But, if he continues to progress, absolutely. Maybe progress wasn't the right word, but continues to show up for our team.
Just continues to be there and be healthy, I think would be good.
I mean, health is very important because we don't have that. I don't have that.
Health is...
Yikes.
No, we don't. The other somewhat downside to add Gustav Nyquist to the roster, moves had to be made by reassignment down to Iowa of the American Hockey League, which included Liam Ogren, who's been down there, gained a lot of confidence down there, has been playing very well on his second go-around up here with Minnesota. But it also sent Murat Huznadinov to Iowa, first time in his career. Murat, to me, Kirsten, has been fine. I know we've discussed it a couple weeks ago where I think I had higher expectations for Murat because there was so much excitement about him coming around. I was like, oh, this is a top 6 forward coming in. I just don't think that's the case at this point. I truly think that maybe he's, a fourth liner, and I think he's sustainable there. He shows glimpses of speed and shows some skill, but I'm fine with him where he's at. I don't think he necessarily needs to be down in Iowa. And Bill Guerin said the same thing. Let's hear what Billy said about the move to Murat when he spoke with media Sunday ahead of the Bruins game.
It stinks. It stinks for him because he's been here all year. He's played hard. He's played well. This is not your regular demotion. There's a lot more to it, and it sucks. This is us running our business, and it's a unfortunate situation for Murat, and we know that, and not a great call to make. It's hey, you've been here all year, but we need to do this so other players can come back. I think he's disappointed. It's tough, kind of really getting across to each other deeply, because of the language barrier. But I know he's disappointed. Yeah. I don't blame him. His agent and I spoke beforehand, gave him a heads up why we're doing it, everything that's going on. So, Murat and I spoke, and I said, please call your agent because he knows everything. He'll be able to explain it to you better. And
so, what's your take on it, Kirsten? Murat, who's what we're called? Who's he? Is that what the commercial was saying?
I have no idea. I tried to tell you because didn't you? The way his name's being pronounced is different than how you said he told you it's pronounced, isn't it?
He told me it's Huznadinov, and they call him Huzi. This was
Literally
forever ago now at this point.
I have no clue. I really don't know.
He's ruining.
I mean, yeah, going back.
But didn't you see the commercial of him in a hot tub?
No.
Huzi in a jacuzzi?
No. Is this a not weird,
this
wild
is news
commercial?
It's a not weird, not wild. It's a Huzi in a jacuzzi listening to Shabuzi or something.
Okay.
I'm serious.
No, I have not
last
seen
week.
this.
It came out last week, and then he was reassigned right after.
Dang, tough bounce for the kid. I mean, yes, to answer your question, I think he's been fine. I think I think a lot of the criticism surrounding him goes towards there was so much excitement about him when he was coming to join the Wild, and I feel like all the hype and excitement surrounding his name hasn't lived up to exactly what we've seen on the ice, but he's been fine. He's serviceable. He does. I think the thing with Murat is he does what Billy G and other execs have expected from him. I don't know. He's been fine. Don't necessarily I don't know. Again, that's just my whole take on Murat. Like, he's fine. Like, it's fine. Everything's fine.
I mean, you look at the stats, it's 2 goals and 5 assists and a -6, but I'm not bothered by it, I guess. Again, I've lowered my expectations a little bit on him, and I think he's been fine. He's 22. I like his personality. And as you heard in Bill's clip, he likes where Murat's at too. So I don't know. And he's been healthy. Speaking of health, Bill Guerin basically told us to F off with the questions of when Kirill, Kaprizov, and Joel Eriksson Ek will be returning. As of right now, again, with that trade deadline approaching, I mentioned it's $1 in, $1 out for Nyquist. There is no money. It would have to be a dollar for dollar trade. It would have to be, as Bill Guerin says, a very hockey trade, because they are still accounting for Kaprizov's salary hit and Joel Eriksson's next salary hit and Jonas Brodin's hit as well. He is recently injured. He is week to week with a lower body. Their bones are made of glass. I'm just telling you that, Kirsten. Your Swedish boys' bones are made of glass.
And, I have also known that. And that's why I've said all season, just like wrap them in bubble wrap, like protect them at all costs. And I always find it very funny. Like, it's just very ironic. Anytime Joel gets injured, Jonas very close behind, also getting injured, vice versa. Neither of them can be healthy at the same time. Likewise, neither of them can be injured without the other, seemingly. Like, every time if Joel gets hurt and is not playing, like, it's an omen. Like, Jonas very shortly behind will also be getting hurt.
They just like to rehab together. Like, let's bike together. Let's do things together.
They're besties. Like, besties. You can't separate them.
Here's what Billy had to say to media on Sunday about Kaprizov and Ek and why he's keeping it so close to the vest and not giving us a timeline.
You guys have been asking me nonstop about this. I don't know. I don't know. There's no exact science. I can't tell you, because what I tell you today might be different tomorrow. Like, things change constantly. It's not like I'm going to say, he's going to be back 17 days from now, and if he's not back 17 days from now, you guys are going to be like, what happened? So I don't know. I just don't know.
I mean, I think that's fair to tell us that, right? Like, we obviously have to know. I know there was one follow-up question asked of, have they started skating? And Billy was like, is that important? And we're like, yeah, because it tells us that they're progressing forward. And he goes, well, they will start skating. Like, okay, so they haven't started yet,
around
but they
the bush
will.
so bad.
But I guess I do understand his stance.
What else does he expect you guys to ask? Like, that is the news right now. Your team's losing. You need to know when your key players are coming back.
Exactly. Well, and that's, as audience, consumers, and fans, that's all they want to know. They don't really care about anything else about when Kirill and Ek and now Broads are back. Like, that's, the team functions better just naturally with them, and those are big hits. So yeah, and again, to give Billy his credit, I get what he's saying is like, well, if I tell you guys one thing, you're going to run with it, and then if it ends up being wrong, you're going to say that I wasn't telling you guys the truth, and I don't know. And I think that is part of a body healing, right? Like, they've tried this already with Kirill. They thought it was done, and it wasn't. And again, Ecker and Broads, I'm thinking Brodin was playing hurt, because there was a question about Brodin's injury, asking him if it was the shot that he blocked in Colorado that caused this injury, and Billy said, I'm not going to confirm that. I think Brodin was playing hurt from the last go around. I think he probably played hurt with Team Sweden. I think Ek probably did as well.
I don't think either of them have played this season fully healthy. Like, they've both been.
Yeah, I don't love that. All of that being said, again, Kirsten, do you think Bill Guerin is done with his trades? I kind of got that sense Sunday when we spoke with him. I mean, you get Nyquist, which is what I was looking for. I look for a bottom 6. He's obviously a top 6 forward. But I do think that they're increasingly optimistic about getting their star players back before the regular season ends. And if you're going to be that optimistic, then yeah, you don't have the wherewithal to do anything else right now. 2 points ahead of Colorado for the top wild card spot with 74 points, 6 points back from the Stars, who are in second place in the Central. I'm okay with them kind of being done at this point.
Yeah, I am too. I just always find it hard to give a definitive, like, oh, Billy G is done. Because I feel like he's always cooking. Or like when you think he's done, he does something last minute. You're like, oh, this was a surprise. So I don't know. Part of me just, I don't think we have the money to do anything else. And I don't know. I guess right now where I sit, I wouldn't be shocked if we didn't do anything else because I don't know what we could do. But also the other part of me is like, I wouldn't be surprised if we got last minute news coming up here.
I asked Bill if there were any untouchables, because he gave the Predators a second round pick. I don't know if I mentioned that, for Gustav Nyquist, which to some people felt very high. And he quoted his mentor, Jim Rutherford, who had told him once upon a time when Jim wanted to make a trade for a third round pick, and Bill and Brass were like, no, don't do it. And Jim goes, well, that better be a effing great player then in the third round, so there are those. And Bill had said, he's like, a second round, you don't know. It's hard to project. You're projecting 5 years out down the road for that player to ever make an impact. So he would prefer not to get rid of his first rounds, but he did say that nothing was really untouchable. He will listen to everything. Again, the only way I see them doing anything else, the only way they can really do anything else, is if it turns out they learn on Wednesday, Thursday, even Friday that Kirill isn't going to be ready to play before the season's over, or Ecker isn't, because then all of a sudden you bump them to LTIR and you have money to spend. Right?
Yes, let's pull a Vegas. Game 1 of playoffs ready. We have all of this cap space. Let's do it.
To my knowledge, Mark Stone hasn't been moved to LTIR yet, right?
Not yet. There's still time.
There's still time.
Yeah, no, let's pull a Vegas. Let's evade the cap.
Why not? Why not? We'll see. Again, trade deadline coming up here, the end of this week. Your Minnesota Wild on the road. But more importantly, state hockey tournament. That enters St. Paul starting Wednesday. We're going to take a quick break and discuss a little bit about the boys' tourney coming up in just a moment. Stay tuned. Your nostalgic SotaStick favorites are back, and they are in stock now at SotaStick.com. From the Met Center colored seats, my personal favorite tee, to the getting blown out the Metrodome door, rep the Minnesota sports timeless vibes with a SotaStick hat, hoodie, tee, whatever suits you and their nostalgic vibes. SotaStick has all the best gear in the game. Don't forget to smash Bardown Beauties at checkout for 15% off all your purchases. Again, that's at SotaStick.com. Costume change for those viewing pleasure. My favorite time of year, because I get to bust out the old Letterman jacket. I should be more embarrassed by this than I truly am sometimes.
I agree. You should be.
But I'm not. They're warm. It's warm. Got the proud academics letter.
So studious.
They're so smart. And there we go. We're rocking and rolling with the Matamidi letter jacket, because somehow, some way, your Matamidi Zephyrs, who I've been told have been having a very, very bad season this year, have made the state tournament, but that's also because it looks like their section is also atrocious. So they're coming into Class A, which again starts Wednesday, semifinals. They're at the number 7 seed, so that's why I get to wear this Letterman jacket at least for a moment. Kirsten, Class A, you've got number 2 Cathedral versus Matamidi at 11 on Wednesday. Number 3 Northfield taking on number 6 Orno at 1 p.m. Number 1 Hibbing Chisholm, who knocked off the mighty Giants to get down to St. Paul. They're taking on number 8 Laverne at 6. And number 4 East Grand Forks, another great game, another Goliath that they took down, taking on number 5 Northern Lights at 8 on Wednesday. Let's start with Class A before we dive into obviously Double A. Who do you like in that tournament? Who are we rooting for? And can we get some excitement for the Wednesday semifinals? I feel like Class A always kind of gets the brush off on Wednesday, and people don't really start paying attention till Thursday. Now, granted, Wednesday's kind of a tough day to tune out from work. You're midweek, right? It's like, I still got work to do. Thursday feels more appropriate. I would just like to see some respect, mostly because I think that might be the only day Matamidi plays this year.
Yeah, it might be. Well, going off of that, and also just because I don't have any don't really have any connections, I guess, to the state tournament.
Is that sad for you? Like every year I get to be insufferable with my alumni fandom.
Well, I think like for me, it's like, yeah, the state tournament, it's always cool, but it's like I never have. I mean, I shouldn't say I never. I believe last year I did. My high school, I think it was last year. They were up there.
Did they?
It was last year or the year before. Yeah.
Maybe. Right.
Rochester, Century, John Marshall. They have a combined team.
Oh, they have a combined, yeah. Are they still the Rockets?
Yeah.
Weren't they you were a Rocket?
I was a
right?
Rocket. I think they
okay.
They technically go by the Panthers, but it's Century, John Marshall. Like, yeah.
Fascinating.
Rochester. Yes. So I believe it was last year they were up there. If it wasn't last year, it was the year before. That's really the only tie that I have. Other tie I feel like I sounded like a boy going through puberty right there. I'm so sorry, guys.
You did.
Yeah, I did. There's no hiding that. There's no coming back from it. The only other tie that I have is the time that I spent in St. Cloud, Minnesota. So that being said, go Cathedral. Sorry, Jessi.
You're not sorry about it. And
I'm
that's
really
fine.
not.
St. Cloud
I'm
Cathedral,
really
the defending champs anyway. They're going to be tough. I believe our friend Nate Schmidt was a St. Cloud Cathedral kid as well. I'm kind of digging. I don't think Mahtomedi is going to be good. Again, I was shocked that they made it there, but then I looked at the teams that they had to go through, which was South St. Paul, who I had joked with our good friend Alex Stalock. I said, should we make a bet on the game? He goes, can I pick Mahtomedi? And I said, yeah, because he had little faith in the Packers. Then they went on and beat like Highland Park, like 10-1. And then they beat Chisago 3-1 to advance. And I'm not that impressed with their pathway to get there. And I'm not going to entertain the AA comments, by the way. Just shut your mouth. The Zephyrs are what they are. I love the Hibbing Chisholm lines, mostly because I love seeing like Iron Range schools get back into it. I also don't mind East Grand Forks too. The Big Green Machine, I think they call themselves. They're kind of fun. It's just I like seeing new blood, you know? Like St. Cloud Cathedral, fine, they're good. But I want Hibbing Chisholm, I think.
Okay.
I'm digging that. That's what respect. So Hibbing Chisholm, let's go. Number 1 seed, baby. All in. Fantastic. AA, which seems to attract a little bit more eyeballs once that kicks off on Thursday. You've got number 2 Stillwater, who defeated Hill Murray in double overtime. Loved that view from Aldrich Friday night. They're taking on number 7 Andover at 11 on Thursday in the first semifinal game. 4 class AA. Then you've got number 3 St. Thomas Academy versus number 6 Shakopee. Shout out to Shakopee, the Hockey Day Minnesota host this year, making their way to the tourney. That's at 1. Number 1 Moorhead, which is full of little Matt Cullens, versus number 8 Lakeville South at 6. And then you've got 4 Rogers versus 5 Edina, who seems to always be there naturally. That's at 8 p.m. to round out the semifinals for Class AA. What are we liking in AA?
I don't know. I feel AA could go many directions, and naturally there always seems to be an upset. But just going on vibes, what I do, let's give a little love to the South Metro and go Lakeville South. Hot
There
take.
we go. They're gonna upend the potatoes.
Potentially.
I just love that they're the Spuds. Like, I will never get over that. Like, they literally have a child. And I say child because it's a high school student dressed up in a potato, just roaming around.
That's iconic. I do love that.
It's right. Like, if I went to Moorhead, I would 100% be like, "Can I be the Spud for this game?"
Audition to be the potato.
Do you know one time? And you can do this. Everybody can do this. So I'm very random. I'm very weird. I'm very awkward. You can do something called a potato parcel, and you can have a message stamped onto a potato. It's just a potato. And my best friend is also very weird like myself. And so I stamped like this picture, like this painting picture that always scared her, that was from our childhood. I stamped it on a potato and I just sent it to her. And it didn't say a name, it didn't say who it's from, and she just received a potato with this picture on it. You can do that too if you want. It's like potatoparcel.com. Like, send someone a potato.
It's never anything I thought about doing. I didn't know it existed.
I know. You should try it though. The joy, the sheer joy. Like, she of course immediately figured out it was me, right? 'Cause she's like, who else would do this? This is so weird and bizarre. But she also said, she's like, I actually really needed this potato today. Like, she was really happy about it. Like, it made her day because nobody expects to get a spud in the mail.
Yeah. I didn't know it was a thing. You learn
I
something new.
Totally recommend it.
Every day. Every day.
Every day. Send your friend a potato. Check in on your people. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to go with, I was going to pick the Moorhead just because I like the spuds. I'm going to go Stillwater. I love seeing the elation. Stillwater's local too, right? To me, it's next door, so I don't mind the ponies. But I loved the double overtime win. I loved the student section. I mean, you get so much of that in general, but I'm going to go ponies. Let's take the ponies. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, I like
Anybody
the
but
vibe
Edina.
Stillwater brings.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I dig.
Like Stillwater, I
go
feel,
for
brings
Stillwater.
the vibes to the function.
Right. Anybody but Edina, or even STA. I don't need an STA victory. I'm sorry. Those affiliations, but should be another good tourney. Another good turnout. We're going to be roaming around. We're not going to be at the expo full time this year because, frankly, it's exhausting, guys. And as we mentioned, March is a very busy month. Not just on the men's side. Kirsten's got duties. Also for the Frost. Are you doing stuff with the NCHC too?
Yeah. I'm everywhere this month. Like, I'm everywhere. Mentally preparing for everything. So again, hence why I'm happy I am sick now. So I can not be sick when things hit the fan. Schedule
Exactly. No. Right. I know. I've been deliberate with my time with my children the past couple weeks because I've had to be because I'm home and they're always around. But mostly because I'm like, I won't see you guys for quite some time. I'm shipping them off to grandma's for spring break next week so they can, like myself, while everybody else in Matamida is going to Mexico. I always had to go to International Falls, and that's exactly what my children are going to do too. So have fun, kids.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing.
I know. We didn't, sometimes we can't afford the Mexico trips.
Well, and they're also all under 6 years old, they don't need to go to Mexico.
They don't probably need to go to Mexico or Disney World or anything that costs an exorbitant amount of money that we don't have. So
yeah, they're good. They're fine.
We're just sports writer. I'm just a sports writer, so that doesn't come with a lot of money. It comes with fun though. Yeah, always fun.
Always fun.
I forgot to tell you. Speaking of fun and speaking of warm weather, I am now committed to a spring closet, which means you will see me wearing shorts frequently at the hockey rink, which bothered a number of players. I told you about Matt Zuccarello and him making a comment like, Jessi, is it really that warm out? And I was like, yeah, Zuki, it's my Minnesota blood, I think is what I said. And then I just kept walking away because I was like, why are we talking? I don't want to talk to you right now. And then one of the Bruins players said that too. I actually didn't recognize who it was, but he was like, oh, is it summertime here in Minnesota? And I was like, no, who are you?
Who are you? My goodness.
I don't know you. But so I'm committed to the shorts for the rest of the season. I moved my sweaters out of my closet, which is probably a bad move, but
this was very preemptive of you, and I'm a little disappointed considering the impending weather for Wednesday that we're gonna be getting.
What's the impending weather on Wednesday?
We're getting like heavy wet snow on Wednesday morning.
Well, that's
heavy
disappointing.
wet,
but you know what?
Snow.
On Wednesday, I'm wearing my Letterman jacket anyway. It won't matter, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. My sweater, I even made the mistake last year of like uncovering all of my patio furniture, bringing out my little outdoor rug in like mid-March and just for it to get snowed on. And I knew it was going to happen, but I wanted to commit. I'm not doing that this year. Not till April. And then that's when the sweaters get put away, is in April.
See, I looked at it this way where, again, I won't have time throughout the rest of this month to make the transition. And I was bored. I redid all the bedrooms. I redid everything.
You were busy.
Bored.
You stayed busy.
I was busy. I do. I need to change that about myself. If I could change one thing, it would be like, how about let's just not do all the things? Like, let's just take a step back for a minute. Once in a while.
Sometimes you do need to learn how to just relax.
Someday.
But like then eventually you're gonna run out of things. Like you've redone the house. Like
super excited for the basement. That's my next task. I have a really cool vision for that down there.
Yeah,
that'd be great. Yeah, if you guys want to help me fund a basement remodel, let me know. Just send money to Kirsten and I. We'll add your name. I'll add your name to the basement wall.
I have $3.
That'll get me maybe a hockey puck.
Well, I'll buy
gonna do a
Taco Bell
hockey
for
theme down there.
lunch. I'll hang out and buy Taco Bell for lunch.
This is true. I love this. I love this for us. The Taco Bell basement day.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. Brilliant. That's going to do it for this week's episode, you guys. You're the best as always. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, like, share, all that good things. We do have our date for this month's live show at Tom Reed's, March 24th. Yes.
Correct. It's a Monday.
When the Wild are in Dallas, so 6 p.m. Pre-game show with us, giveaways, trivia, all that good stuff, as well as the 7 p.m. puck drop against the Stars. Again, that's down at Tom Reed's. Thanks to our friends at Grainbelt